listening. Just want to have a little rapport with you all for a little bit. All right. So wherever you are, bonsoir, bonsoir, good evening if it's evening, bonjour if it's good day, good morning, bon après-midi if it's afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Hello, hola, ¿cómo estás? Sakafet. What's happening, guys? What's up? Yes, that's all of it, all the greetings I can possibly give. I'm here tonight to just focus on something that is really, really important. I think we must all pay attention to, and it's often seen as something taken for granted by many, many people. Yeah, by many people. Even us, we sometimes take ourselves for granted, our own mental health for granted. So I want to take a little time to focus this evening on what is called mental health. And did you guys know that May, the month of May, is dedicated to mental health month, or it's called the mental health month? I know that there are other medical conditions where May is used to focus on. For example, I think there are people who have what is this called again? It's they use purple as a color. I will get it for you in a while. For some reason, that's evading me. I don't know why. It's not that complicated, but there is one of those illnesses that a number of people suffer from, and the month of I think May, people are encouraged to wear purple, particularly to sympathize and empathize with people who suffer from that particular illness. But this day I want to focus on mental health. Mental health is a critical issue, and I will start by saying mental health is not a joke. People joke about it. People, when you see a person who is mentally ill, people sometimes make fun of mentally ill people. People sometimes take advantage of mentally ill people, physically harming them, physically hurting them, ill-treating them, and so on. And then, of course, I'm referring here to maybe those people whose mental health issues are more visible and everybody can see, that this is what it is, this is who they are, this is what they're going through. But very, very often, there are people who suffer silently. They're very jovial, they laugh a lot, they crack jokes when they're with people. But when they go into their own little quiet, into their own cocoon, they start, going through mental pressures, and people do not know. And so they must pay attention to their mental health as well. And so I want to spend some time just with you guys just to explore a little bit about mental health and the importance of it for us as human beings. And again, I will say, and let this be the watchword, the watch phrase you could say for me, for you, for this video, that mental health is not a joke. Bottom line, easily said, but extremely serious. Mental health is no joke. And this is what I want to focus on this evening. So if it's your first time coming here on this channel, my name is Cesarina Paul. This is Authentic Exchange, the name of the channel. I'm pleased to have you here with me. And I come here from time to time and I try to bring in information and informative and educational things or content that can help all of us to grow. You, me. When I share with you, I feel like I learn because I must do some research anyway before I come and talk to you guys. And so I understood that this month is Mental Health Month. And as a matter of fact, it is said that May, the month of May, is Mental Health Awareness Month in the United States. But I know that it's also the case in various parts of the world, including in my island. And it is observed annually since 1949, before some of us were born. Before some of us were born, mental health was an issue being discussed, being given, attention. And so it was really organized in an effort to reduce stigma and to also educate the public and to support people with mental health conditions. So, one, to eradicate stigma, two, to educate the public, and three, to support people who suffer from mental health conditions. That particular mental health month and mental health awareness month is organized by the Mental Health America. an organization called Mental Health America. And in 2026, this year, it focuses on community, on well being, and is often being used or often using green ribbons to raise awareness. It's a pity I don't have any green on me, but I pray that you take the green at the background there for as some significance. I had green t-shirt earlier today and I removed it. um, didn't realize that green was the color that we would be talking about. But certainly, maybe for the month, we can all from time to time wear something green or wear a little green ribbon in solidarity with people who suffer from mental health. So that's my hope. If you know, I'm sure if you think about it, I'm sure you, me, I'm sure all of us can say, yes, I know at least one person with mental health concerns and mental health challenges. And some of us, even in our families, there could be a one or two, a couple of people that we know within our own families who are suffering from mental health conditions and mental health struggles. And so it is not a far fetched thing. It is a thing that we see around us. Many of us walk our streets and we see mentally ill people on the road. We see mentally ill people sleeping on by the side of the road, looking for something to eat. Sometimes they're just, and it's heartbreaking to see. And I tend to say and believe that nobody is really immune to mental health issues. Nobody is really immune to mental health conditions. If we don't care for them, if we don't care for our mental health, we could fall prey to conditions of being in a bad state. Okay. And so we must take care of our mental health. The theme for this year's Mental Health Awareness Month and for this year is more good days, sorry, more good days together. More good days together. And as it says, it's focusing on community, it's focusing on connection, and it's focusing on supporting mental wellness. All right. So the idea is to project more good days for, especially for the people who are known to be suffering with mental health issues. All right. It's you and I enjoying greater days and better days every day, making every day count, making your everyday count, maybe making your days with your loved ones, your friends count. Mental health is no joke. Remember, this is what we're saying today. It is no joke. It's nothing for us to joke around or joke about. It's really, really serious. And we must take it at its word, take it as serious as it is, so that we can be of support, sisters and brothers, friends, we can be of support to somebody else. Again, if you're just joining me, welcome. I'm focusing today on mental health. This month, May, the month of May, is considered Mental Health Awareness Month. And so the theme for this year's focus is More Good Days Together. And so, what is the goal? The goal for that particular activity, as I said earlier, is to raise awareness, to reduce stigma, to provide education, and to advocate for better care for people who are suffering from mental health. We still have conditions where in some countries, mentally ill people are not put in a home where they can get medical attention. They're put in the prison. They were put behind bars. And many of them come out worse than they went in, right? And so even in some countries, in my country, we have what is called a psychiatric unit, but I'm sure it has its limitations as well. I'm not here to speak as an authority on that, but I do know that there is a unit at the Dominica China Friendship Hospital. But we also know that there is need for a greater effort to be made to cater for people with mental illness, because we still see too many of them on the streets roaming or doing things, that are very concerning and sometimes even scary for the general public and for they themselves, the mentally ill people who sometimes are struggling and they might do things to harm themselves. Okay. So it is very important for us to talk about mental health, to look at how we can reduce stigma, how we can continue to provide education for all, for everyone, right? And of course, advocate for better care. Um, so, for example, I want to say too that the significance with nearly 1 in 5 U.S. adults Nearly 1 in 5, just 5 US adults they currently are living with mental illness. So that's scary. Every 5 person that we meet, one could possibly be living with mental illness. So this month, the month of May, highlights that mental health is crucial for overall physical health. Yeah, if we're not mentally sound, friends, then physically we're also not very sound. And that's why the mind is important. The Bible tells us that our mind be transformed by the renewal of your mind. And so we have to take care of our mind. We have to take care of that part of us because at the end of the day, if we lose our mental health, we have almost lost everything. You can possibly say we have lost everything because you just don't have it all. You don't have what you really need, your full capacity to focus. All right. So that is very crucial. So how can we participate? As I said earlier, we can wear green, as that's the color for mental health. We can wear green to participate in the international awareness movement activities. And there is a day called Wear It Green Day. Wear It Green Day in May. I'm not sure what date that is. Wear It Green Day. There must be probably one of the dates when they say Wear It Green Day. So it said that probably between July 14th, sorry, May 14th. Why am I saying July? I don't know. May 14th, during Mental Health Awareness Week to 11. So the 11th to the 17th could possibly a great time to wear. Yeah, so we're still within good time. Today is the 14th, guys. The 14th, guys. So you can wear something green between today and the 17th of May to show support and solidarity for a brother, a sister, a friend, a neighbor, somebody we know in the community who is suffering from mental illness, and to, of course, draw awareness, for them. Um, there are ways that we can learn more. So there are action guides that we can find on the Mental Health America website, and they provide tools for advocacy, for local events and personal wellness as well. So you want to know more, you want to preserve your own mental health. How can you do it? We can seek education, as I said, explore evidence-based information on symptoms of mental health, risk factors, and treatments from the American Psychiatric Association. So there is a lot of resources out there that we can find about mental health and mental illness so that we can better take care of our own mental health. And of course, self-care and support. Implement daily wellness routines such as physical activities and establishing social support systems. I don't know for you guys, but I believe in physical activity. Whenever I stop working out, I feel like I get sick. When I do at least some level of physical, movement, and I'm not an expert in terms of physical movement and fitness, but I do value moving. I value movement. I value um, pursuing good energies in my brain and good hormonal activity, so that you can feel better, you can feel happy, and so on. Exercise does that, physical movement. If you like running, if you like walking, if you like just biking, and so on, do something. Taking a walk in your yard, maybe doing some gardening in your yard or in your backyard, sweating it out, staying in the sun for a little bit, getting some vitamin D. All those little things. They may sound little, we might even say they are little, but they're not. Put together, they are very productive and they are very healthy for us. So um, also, stories. Listen to the stories of others and share personal stories, to break the stigma, for example, so that people feel that their stories are valuable. There are lots of people walking among us, guys, who are mentally unstable, who are going through a tough time. All right. So we cannot take mental illness for a joke. And as I said, I want to dub this as mental illness is no joke. Mental illness is no joke. And sometimes we say it, and it's not even a subject that we like to talk about because it's not exciting, it's not sexy, as people might say, but it is so important. Because if we lose our mental capacity, if we lose our mental health, then sexy doesn't even matter. Excitement doesn't even matter anymore because we have lost that crucial part of us. So I pray for you for good mental health. I pray for myself for great mental health as well, so that we can function and be, meaningful, contributing citizens in God's world, right? So if you know somebody struggling right now with some kind of mental situation, please don't delay. Don't take it for granted. Go out there, try to help them, be of a source of encouragement for them. Let us not make fun of mentally ill people. Let us respect them. Let us ensure that they feel supported, that they know that they're not alone, on that journey of mental illness, on that journey of trying to be better. And there are all sorts of mental illnesses, just to mention a few of them. First of all, maybe we can define what is mental health, because I've been talking about it, but I've not given a definition of what is mental health. Sorry. Yeah, it's kind of warm in here, or maybe even hot. So, um, I want to share some simple tips with you for a happier mind. Yes, a happier mind, that's so important. But first of all, what is mental health? When we say mental health, what are we referring to? And maybe I should have said that earlier, but here it goes. So, mental health refers to a person's emotional, psychological, and social well being. Pretty straightforward. It refers to our social, emotional, our emotional, our psychological, and yes, and our social well-being. I just mixed them all up. All right, that's what it refers to. Well-being, that is important, and it includes our abilities to handle stress, to relate to others, to make decisions, and to face life's challenges. And doesn't life have challenges? Oh, yes, it does. It comes with challenges. When we were born, we were not given a blueprint, we were not given a playbook, we were not given a guide that says this is how you navigate challenges when they come. Because every moment, those challenges are so different. And in everybody's lives, those challenges are so different. And so there's no direct book to say this is what you do when that challenge comes. So it's important for us to know how to handle stresses when they come, handle those challenges, how to relate to other people, and how to make decisions, good decisions. All of these contribute to our mental health, our ability to stay stable, our ability to navigate emotions, to navigate psychological stresses and stressors, and to navigate even social situations. People need people. I love to say that. That's one of my phrase. People need people. And so to do these, my friends, sometimes, a lot of times, we need others. We can't be expect to be an island and survive. So we have to pick up our phone sometimes when we know somebody's struggling and call them and let them know that they're not alone. Yeah. Send them a message, send a WhatsApp, send a voice note. Let them know they're not alone, because people need support. Yeah, I personally know I need support. I'm not super um as if as if I don't need anybody. We all need people. I need people too, so happy that I can talk to you guys. Hoping that you all are actually getting something from this, and that it's meaningful to you and to the world, that we can all be of better health and well-being. So, to mention a few common mental illnesses, and you may have heard some of those thrown around. So, oh, you just say, and we say it's sometimes funny, oh, that person is bipolar, as if it's a joke. But yeah, these bipolarism being, or bipolar disorder, it is a disorder, it is a mental illness as well. And so, bipolar disorder is one of them, all right? And these are some of the common ones that I'm going to mention. Excuse me. There is anxiety disorders. Some people get extremely anxious, and it takes a toll on how they carry themselves in situations and how they deal with stress. All right, so anxiety disorders, and you have to pray against anxiety. I think anxiety straight off is just terrible, and it's something we have to pray against. I remember once I was struggling with anxiety when I was a bit younger, and someone came to our church and he was praying for people. And he said, "What can I pray for you for?" And I said, "I'm always anxious. Please pray for me." And he looked at me and he said, "Do you eat okra?" And I was like, "What? Do I eat what?" He said, "Do you eat okra?" You guys know okra, right? You OCKRA, okra. Some say okra, okra. We say okra. Well, that little green stuff, it's kind of long and has a stalk, and it's quite slimy. Okra. That's what I'm talking about. Maybe I'll put a picture for you guys. But I was taken aback when he asked me that question. So I said, no, I don't even like okra. He said, well, you had better start eating okra now. So that's one of the things, even our diet, what we eat, can contribute to our mental health and our stresses and how we deal with anxiety and so on. Or it can allay, it can help to decrease. And from that time I started eating okra, I can tell you guys, and I've never turned back. And thank God, I think my anxiety has been very much under control, So even food, what we eat, and high seasoned food can contribute to anxiety and to depression and feeling stressed and so on. So there are lots of things that we have to bear in mind. But anxiety disorders is one. I said bipolar disorder. There is also depression, which manifests itself in so many different ways. Some people withdraw into themselves. Some people do not want to have any dealings with anybody at that time. Other people start becoming less concerning about themselves. Their self-care drops, so they no longer take care of their hygiene. They just give up on. You can see in their outlook how they present themselves that they're not well. There are lots of different signs to know if somebody is depressed. But if you have somebody in your life and you find that they used to be more together, and for some reason you start seeing some changes, it's important for you to take note and see how you can help them. Not to probe and make them feel uncomfortable, but importantly to bring it to their awareness, find out, hey, are you okay? They might say yes, but you might be able to help them to point out that things are not as you're telling me, because I can see ABC, and hopefully they can get some help. ADHD as well, attention disorder, attention deficit, and that is a disorder in itself. Some people just have a difficulty trying to be attentive, being attentive, and so on. And there are lots of other signs that will tell you if someone has ADHD, especially children. There is PTSD and post-traumatic syndrome as well. That is disorder that is so dangerous. Especially we see people coming from war, people from traumatic situations, not even war, even disasters. I can tell you after Hurricane Maria here in my country, a lot of us suffer from PTSD, and it's not been an easy road. When it rains, when the wind blows, all these little things trigger the trauma, and so a lot of people suffer from PTSD and things of that sort. So the point I'm making is that we're not immune to those things. They can happen like that in a jiffy. So yes, PTSD is one of them. Then there is OCD. That there are just some people who just want to ensure that everything is always in order and every little detail is checked. And if it goes opposite of how it's supposed to be, they get very antsy and even frustrated and so on. So it's some kind of just it's a disorder of trying to have everything in order, so to speak. It's really scary sometimes for some people, right? And then there is schizophrenia as well, that is a bit displayed more, especially in society where you see people on the road and they're doing really off things and so on. Schizophrenia as well is very much diverse in it, in how it presents itself in different people. So these are just some mental illnesses, and these are the more common ones that are known, by fellow humans go through, and all of us sometimes suffer some level of anxiety, some level of depression, some level of PTSD, even OCD, just name it. Sometimes we have little traits of those things, but if it takes a hold of us, if it takes over our personality, that's where we will be, in a difficulty. And so it's important to know those things, and I mention them so that you can go ahead and read up on some of them and find out how can you prevent it, or how can you help somebody in your life who you might be seeing, you might notice is demonstrating or showing some level of mental illness. You didn't think about it before, but it's probably something that you need to check and help them to check. So self-care and mental wellness. What are some of the things we can do? We're talking about stress reduction, so doing things that will reduce our stress. All right, emotional resilience, building our emotional resilience. Physical health, ensuring that we are physically healthy. Again, dieting, exercising, eating better foods that will help us to be healthy. Rather than eating a lot of fatty foods and a lot of sugary foods and a lot of high salted foods, but balancing off and drinking a lot of water helps as well. Preventing burnout, knowing when to say no to people. knowing when to say no, I cannot help you this time because whatever, so that you don't get burnt out and you prioritize the things that matter so that you can manage your time properly and not feel so depressed and frustrated by trying to get 100 things done for 100 people when you're only one person, right? So being able to prevent burnout is crucial. And of course, continuous learning. I can tell you that helps us a lot. We can't not stop learning. We can't stop learning. We have to keep learning. We have to keep um, refreshing our minds on things of these, for example. Okay, so if you feel a way, you feel a certain way, and it's off to you, seek help, get help, read, get education, but also seek help. And so, when to consult a psychologist? When should somebody consult a psychologist, or when should you seek consultation of a psychologist for somebody that you know? One is when you see, for example, persistent sadness. A person is constantly sad or anxious or angry even. Some people demonstrate their frustration through anger, constantly angry, you know. Get help for that person. Recommend. Again, a person has to want help, especially an adult, like they need to want to get help. But sometimes you have to be the one to say, hey, I think, I'm telling this to you in love because I love you, I care about you. You probably should speak to a therapist, get a psychologist, go to a counselor. Even it's not mad people don't go to counselors. Mad people go to psychiatrists who medicate them. But to avoid madness, to avoid getting to a place where a person's mental health gets so eroded that they cannot focus anymore, it's important for us to consult psychologists, counselors, people who can help us to process our thoughts and to navigate the problems and situations that trigger our frustrations. Relationship difficulties. You have a relationship difficulty, consult a psychologist because it gives all kinds of old emotions, it gives all kind of frustrations, it gives all kind of pain sometimes, and some people do not know, that they can get past the pain in time, and they just give up. Okay, so it's important to consult a psychologist at those times. You have trouble coping with trauma or loss. You lost a loved one, you lost a friend, you lost, a job, even you lost your good name. I mean, your reputation. There are so many things you can lose. Um, it's important to seek help and get a psychologist if you have trouble coping with those situations as well. Chronic stress. You're always stressed. You just do not catch a break. You're always breathless, always trying to get things done and never slowing down and being able to just feel calm and at peace. Then talk to somebody, talk to a psychologist. Personal growth, even you may not be feeling all these things, but for personal growth, for good counsel, for good direction, you want to have a brighter future, you will need to make certain decisions. Talk to somebody who is trustworthy, a psychologist, preferably a counselor, psychologist, so that they can help you. And of course, if there are behavioral challenges in your life or the life of your loved one, your children, even, get help for them. Get help for them. It doesn't kill to get help for people, it doesn't hurt to get help. And again, I will say it is only the people who are very prideful or very proud and too proud to think that they can go, who think that, mental health is going to a psychologist, sorry, is for sick people, is for people who lose their mind already. No, as I said, if somebody lost their mind completely, the psychologist at that point cannot help them. They have to be medicated, so they need to go to a psychiatrist, which is worse to me than going to talk to somebody and get help. Now, I know some people will say, me, I don't trust people, so I do not want to go to a psychologist. I say to you, consider your health first before the pride. Consider your health first before the fear of what people will say or what will they think about me. No, forget that. Put that behind and take care of your mental health. For me, like that's crucial. I put that first. I put my mental health first in a case like this. And so there are lots of things that we can do. As I said, general healthcare is important, all right? And the physical, the psychological, the emotional, even the spiritual. Yes, spiritual is the social and also professional things that we can do in order for us to be better. A few examples, as I said, for your physical wellness. Healthy eating, personal hygiene, even, yes, cleaning yourself, smelling good, all those things continue here, making sure that you feel neat. So when you step out of your house, you feel confident and good. That helps with your whole mental health as well. And of course, exercise. I said that that's crucial. Make sure you take some time and sleep. Sleep. Try to get enough sleep. Try to get naps in the day if you can. 5 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes naps can help as well. I can nap pretty good. Like if I say I'm going to rest for 15 minutes, I take a power nap and then I get up and I can go for another how many hours I can working. Some people can't do that. They're afraid if they fall asleep, they may not wake up early enough. That's fine. But find a way to get enough sleep so that your body can recoup and your mind can be alert with enough rest. Okay. Psychologically, as I said, do things like that will give you joy. Practice a hobby, learn something new that you want to learn, read, challenge yourself on something, and do it not to stress you out, but do it for creativity. Let your creative juices come out and you will feel better. Emotional. How about emotional? Spend time with your loved ones. Yes, that's important. Reflect, meditate. That's so crucial. Express feelings, how you feel about certain situations is also important. And also respect yourself. Respect yourself. All that help with emotional balance. Spiritually, I like to say pray. And if you notice, this channel is all about encouraging you to pray, to develop your spiritual life as well as your confidence and your faith. And so prayer is a must. It's not just, well, let's just pray, but it's really maintaining our relationship with God, maintaining that connection with the supreme being who is bigger than us, right? And whom we need to help us to navigate life. And so prayer helps. So pray, meditate, spend quality time meditating, and of course finding meaning and prioritizing your values before anything else. All those things. Think about your morality, contemplate life, stand up for your morals, things of that sort. All those things us help us to grow and to maintain our mental health. Socially, spend time with loved ones, which is similar to what we do emotionally, spending time with loved ones. Stay in contact with the people that matter to you. Stay in contact with them. That is very, very important because it helps you to keep that connection that has been a source of sustenance and strength for you and motivation. Have meaningful dialogue with people, have great conversations with people, all those things help, and have fun together with the people that you care about and you love. And of course, professionally, try to stay on top of your tasks. Don't let them fall behind. Don't procrastinate, but manage your time in such a way that you can always get your tasks done, and then of course still have time for recreation and fun and creativity and so on. So just a few things that I thought I would share with you guys tonight about mental health, how we can definitely take care of our mental health, take care of ourselves, and also recognizing that mental health is no joke. It is a real thing. Many people struggle with it, and it is easy. I like to say that and people say that there's a very thin line between sanity and insanity, very thin. And I've seen some people react in certain situations and lost their minds and their ability even to walk because they have just been so taken aback and traumatized by the situation that they were exposed to. None of us know what life was for us, but importantly, in the times that we are normal, we are sane, let us take care of our mental health so that we can continue to live long, healthy lives or lives for a long time as long as we're on earth, to be cognitive, to be aware, and of course, to be an asset to those we love, those around us, to society, to the world. So I wanted to share that with you guys. So thank you all for taking the time to listen. I hope that it was meaningful. I hope you got something meaningful out of this, presentation, discussion, sharing. And please feel free to share it with somebody else if you know anybody who could possibly benefit from that information. Feel free to share it with them. At the end of the day, remember your authenticity, your confidence, and your faith. These three things are going to help you to get through life in a positive way. So let us go ahead and be of support to somebody else. And of course, take care of what we have, our minds, our souls, our bodies, our spirits. We are not just a physical being, we are a package: spiritual, emotional, psychological. All right. Thank you for coming on to Authentic Exchange. If it's your first time here, thank you again for being here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And please go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Tell somebody else about it, and hopefully you can come back again and see you in the next video. God bless all of you, and let us pray for each other. Let us pray that we will have strong mental health and well-being for all of us. See you guys around. God bless you. Come again. All right. Bye.